Hello everyone, this is Jaspir again. In this video, what we are going to discuss is the best meeting practices. Every day in our working schedule, we have at least 30 to 40% of the time we spend basically in meetings. How to make those meetings basically successful, how to achieve the desired result, what kind of good practices we need to follow, we are going to discuss in this video. So the first one is we need to remember three main points, which if we achieve those 3 points, then we can consider that the meeting what we scheduled, that was actually a successful meeting. First one is we achieved basically our objective. Whatever the reason was to schedule that meeting, we were successful after the meeting to achieve our objective. That is the first point. Second thing is we want to make sure that we achieve our objective in a minimum amount of time. We don't need to drag that meeting for hours. As soon as we just need to pass whatever information we want to pass or whatever information we need to get back from the audience or from the participants. Once we have that information, then that is basically a second success point that yes, this was actually a good meeting. In a minimum amount of time, we actually were able to achieve our objective. The third one is, and the most important I will say is that whenever the participants are, if after they leave from the meeting, they feel that this meeting was not actually a waste of time. I'm sure uh, every day, we go in meetings and sometimes we just feel like what was actually that meeting was for, what actually we got from that meeting. So that is the third point, that make sure that a sensible process has been followed and everyone, including the participants, your manager, whoever it is, whoever joined basically these meetings, they feel like yes, they got actually something from this meeting. Now there is a BDA strategy. Now what actually that stands for? Let us discuss that. So B is before the meeting, what kind of preparation we need to do. D is during the meeting, what are the good points we need to follow, what are the good practices we need to follow. And A is after the meeting, what are the good practices we should follow. So let us discuss before the meeting. So as soon as you have some agenda ready, you need to quickly save that date as soon as, because you don't want to inform the participants just like 1 hour in advance or 2 hours in advance that okay, let us have a meeting. I think as soon as you have a clear agenda and you are ready, right away notify everyone and tell them that okay, on this date at this time we are going to have this meeting and this is basically the agenda of the meeting. Before meeting, it is a good idea that if you can just send a reminder that okay, we scheduled this meeting for this date and in next 2 hours we are going to have this meeting. This is just a gentle reminder that if anyone need to prepare for anything, they are ready for that. Another thing is, if you are expecting that someone, someone who is going to attend actually these meetings and you are expecting some kind of a assignment or some kind of a agenda item that they need to basically discuss, just remind them that okay, this is basically the expectation from your side is in this meeting. Number fourth point is, as I said, it's very important that before meeting you should share the agenda so that before anyone come actually in a meeting, everyone knows that what is actually the purpose of this meeting and what is going to be discussed, and they can also be ready actually with their questions or their comments or their concerns. So please always share the agenda of the meeting in advance. Whenever you are creating a meeting invite, send them an agenda in that invite that yes, this is basically the agenda and this is what we are going to discuss, and let let me know that if you want to add something specific. Another thing is, the next point is basically we need to set up some kind of rules that okay, this meeting, this person. So let us say that in your meeting, it's you, and then there are two other participants who need to spend, some time for maybe, on some presentation. So you will say that, okay, Mr. A, he is going to spend 10 minutes. Make sure that Mr. A, you should be able to cover the items which you want to discuss or which you want to present in 10 minutes. And then Mr. B, we will give you 20 minutes because your presentation is bigger than Mr. A, but make sure that you should be able to finish whatever you want to discuss in 20 minutes. So what you're doing is you are setting up some rules so that you are always in control that how this meeting will proceed from start to end. Because remember, you have to end that meeting at time. Now, before meeting, make sure that if projector is required or a whiteboard is required, they are ready. You don't have to run at the last moment that you are running for a projector. Or projector is not ready. There is no whiteboard actually in this room. So make sure that all the prep work, initial prep work is done before the meeting. Another thing I notice is that most of the time, I'm sure many of you had the similar experience that whenever there is an important meeting and whenever you are trying to log in, your computer will give you one problem or other problem and you will be not able to join that meeting, and you know that you are the presenter actually and you need to be you have to be actually in that meeting. It's not like if you will join after 5 minutes it's okay. No, it's not okay. So if whenever you are presenter, make sure that you join that meeting at least 5 to 7 or 10 minutes before actually the meeting start time. Now, during the meeting, what we should do? It's very important that you begin your meeting at time and also make sure that you end that meeting at time. There are a number of reasons. So just one quick reason is many people have other meetings after your meeting ends, and they have to drop off basically because sometimes they have to. It's a maybe the next meeting is also very important, and it's a cut-off time is basically when your meeting ends. That is the cut-off time basically for your meeting and the start of time for the next meeting. So make sure that you start and end your meeting at time. And at least I can discuss, I can say about myself, I always make sure that I always start my meeting at time and try to end actually my meeting at least 2-3 minutes before the end time. The reason is because sometimes in those last 2-3 minutes, sometimes there are a couple of attendees, they have something, maybe some concern or some question and they want to ask, and you want to give them that much time. I will say at least try to reserve actually at least 5 minutes if there is any last minute questions or anything if someone wants to discuss. During the meeting, you don't have to be just discussing only the business. No, you can have a little bit fun around, because that will put everyone basically on a easy spot. Everyone will be basically able to enjoy the meeting, because it's not like you are continuously discussing business and business only. So try to have a little bit fun in your meeting. In case I've seen many times that whenever the meeting is going on, especially if someone is joining through phone, there is a lot of disturbance. Sometimes attendees, they join actually, while driving, and maybe, one of the window is open and you see a lot of noise basically. It's okay that you can politely inform them that there's a lot of noise coming from your end. If you can please, either mute yourself, and if sometimes I notice that people put themselves actually on speakerphone, and then they just leave for maybe 2 or 3 meetings, and then there's a lot of background noise. Then in that scenario, what you can do is, because you are actually organizer, you can actually mute that particular line so that other participants, they can hear you, or you can hear them, their feedback or their questions, concerns. Now, the next point is that during the meeting, you need to make sure that you are 100% clear. When you start your meeting, you are 100% clear that this is basically the purpose of the meeting, and this is what you are trying to achieve. This is basically the objective at the end of the meeting you are trying to get from that meeting. So that basically what you are trying to do is you are always in control. Your meeting is not going left or right. It's always basically to the point that this is what is the objective is, and this is what you are trying to get from that. Make sure that you always keep track of your time. Always check your time, that okay, if a lengthy discussion is started, and if you feel that now you will be not able to complete your meeting at time, you can always jump in and say that, okay guys, I'm just checking time, and only 10 minutes left. What we can do is, this is a good discussion, but how about if we can continue actually in our next meeting, or maybe we can take it offline. And that way you will be always again controlling and making sure that you will be able to finish that meeting actually on time. Now, you don't have to do all the discussions, because during meeting, there are a lot of topics will come. And if you will start discussing, those topics in detail, trust me, you will be never able to finish your meeting actually on time. So keep those discussions maybe, for later time. And I'm not saying that you should cut them right away. If you still feel that, yes, you still have enough time and we can have this discussion, sure. But make sure that, again, you are keeping track of time, and you will not go basically over the time. Just make sure that. Now, during the meeting, sometimes there are very sensitive topics we discuss. Sometimes there is some kind of a negative feedback. Doesn't matter what it is. You always need to be in control. You always need to be calm and in control, and say that, yes, I'm taking your feedback, and I will take steps basically that how I can improve on these and these things. Now, during the meeting, what we need to do is, we also want to make sure that whatever the agenda we set it up. So let us say that when you schedule a meeting, you sent actually 4 or 5 different topics that you want to basically discuss, and that was the agenda. So make sure that you start from actually the item number 1 and finish that, and then go to the second and third. What you are making sure is that whatever the agenda for that meeting is, that is being followed, and you will be able to actually discuss that particular agenda, because that is the primary reason you are having that meeting. So make sure that you are following your agenda. Now, this is I noticed that sometimes during the meeting, everyone is suddenly quiet, and no one is saying anything. That's kind of a very awkward moment. If you think that, okay, it's already 5 seconds or 7 seconds and no one is saying something, and suddenly if it's more than 8 or 10 seconds, just jump in and try to take control of it, and then again start a conversation and follow your agenda. sometimes this is really very uncomfortable that no one is saying anything, and everyone is thinking that okay, who is going to say something now? So it's because you are the organizer. It's your responsibility to control that. Now, next thing is that you always need to focus basically on your agenda discussion item. You don't have to focus on a specific person. That is very important. Sometimes I notice that we start asking actually direct questions to someone, especially if I notice that if in your meeting if there is a high level manager, sometimes they will either put you on spot or either they will put someone else on spot. So make sure that we are discussing some specific topic here. We are not discussing a person over here. Now, always take feedback from all the participants. Always, so whenever, if you are proposing something, always say that, okay, this is what I'm proposing, and I would love to know your feedback. If you think otherwise, please let me know right now so that if time permits, we can have a quick discussion around that. Now, there are sometimes topics which are unrelated to your meeting agenda, but those items are good for discussion. So what you can do is you can put them actually in a parking lot. If at end of the meeting, if you think that yes, there is still some time left, then you can always go back to your parking lot and pick those topics and discuss about them. Sometimes you don't want to lose that track because those suggestions or those topics which may not be directly from your agenda, but they are something good that you should be discussing that. Maybe you can schedule actually another meeting and you can discuss those items in that meeting, but you definitely don't want to lose them. So put them actually in a parking lot, and if time permits, discuss in current meeting. If not, schedule another meeting for that. Now, at end, make sure that before you close the meeting, you actually summarize that, okay, this is what our discussion, this is what we discussed actually in our meeting, and these are the next steps, what we are going to do. And as an organizer, basically you are saying that, okay, this is what I got from everyone after this meeting, and these are the next steps, what I think that I'm going to follow, and please let me know that if I'm missing something. So this is kind of a meeting minutes basically you are collecting, and then you are just making sure that you got everything basically. And at the end, basically, you say thanks to everyone, that thanks guys joining for this meeting, and thank you very much for your feedback, your comments, and I will basically update you. I will send you meeting minutes after this call. Now, after the meeting, what are the steps we should take? What are the best practices? As I said, we're gonna share actually the meeting minutes, and not only share, if in those meetings, if something is for us to follow up, we need to follow up those different I will say meeting minutes, or those different topics, or those different discussion points. Now, if you think that there is another meeting required, always say that, okay, this is basically continuing discussion from this meeting, and the next meeting we are going to have on this date and this time. At least you can give some kind of a tentative date and time. You can always change that. And it's a good idea that you can send actually a note of thanks, that thank you very much for joining. I think everyone will appreciate that. They will see a change because not too many people are doing that. It's always a good idea, especially if you had learned something new always say that, okay, this was a really good discussion. Thank you very much. This is something new I learned today. Appreciate, your kind help, your kind suggestions, your kind comments. Now in the last, basically, what we discussed so far is when you are basically a presenter or an organizer. Now, as an attendee, I thought that I will cover actually as an attendee also in the same video. So as an attendee, what you need to do is there are some basic rules I think everyone need to follow, especially whenever you are as an attendee. First of all, it's very important that you join on time. I noticed that in a few of the meetings, attendees are joining after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes. I've seen sometimes after 15 or 20 minutes also. If you are running late, sometimes the situations are like that we cannot attend right actually on the time. It's a good idea that you always inform to the organizer that I'm running late. I will be able to join after 5 minutes or after 10 minutes. Always inform that. Second thing is, whatever the discussion is going on, as an attendee, I think it's a good idea to take notes. As I said that as an organizer of the meeting, you already set up some rules that, okay, we will take questions actually at the end of, in the last 10 minutes of the meeting. So what you can do is, if that is the norm set for your meeting, what you can do is you can take notes and you can write down all the questions, basically whatever is coming, in your mind and you want to ask. You can write down those questions, and if there is any concern, you can write down that. And once the organizer says that, okay, now please let me know if there are any question concern. At that time, you can just go back to your notes and you can just go one by one and ask your questions, raise your concerns. As an attendee, you don't need to be just attendee only, just like join it and put yourself in mute and just listening. Participate in the meeting, because that way, first of all, it will be good that everyone will say that yes, this particular participant or attendee, he has some questions, and maybe the question you will ask, maybe many other attendees, they have actually same question or maybe something very close to the question you are going to ask. So they will appreciate that yes, you are asking the same question actually what they need clarification or what they had concern for. So basically participate actually in these meetings. And that's pretty much. I hope we discussed a couple of good practices which we need to follow as a presenter, as an organizer, as well as a participant also. Your feedback is very welcome. Let me know if I missed anything. Please comment. Thank you very much.